On News Hour tonight, 1,000 Boko Haram terrorists killed, 22 repented, 2,000 civilians displaced in 2021. 3 crushed to death by articulated vehicle in Ogun State. Second-hand cloth sellers enjoy patronage in Kano as cold weather sets in. And on the foreign scene, Sudanese security forces kill 4 anti-coup protesters. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. The news in full. Federal government said it has crushed 1,000 Boko Haram while 22 insurgents surrendered and 2,000 civilians were displaced in 2021. The Minister of Information and Culture, Ibrahim Ahmed, stated this on Thursday while addressing a press conference in Lagos. He said no fewer than 1,000 terrorists were also neutralized and acknowledged that the biggest challenge the federal government in the outgoing year is insecurity. According to him, despite the challenge, the military has been able to live up to expectations and explained that to keep the country safe, the armed forces of Nigeria set up various operations across the country. Police in Zamfara State have denied the recent claims by some elder statesmen in the state over the indiscriminate release of arrested bandits and collaborators under their custody in the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Ayuba stated this while reacting to claims by the elder statesmen in the state that authorities are releasing indiscriminately arrested bandits or their collaborators, which is escalating banditry in the state. The leader of the group, Said Ansado, and some Zamfara elders have raised alarm over the release of bandits in police custody. CP Elkanah said since he assumed duty as Commissioner of Police in the state, the police have never released any arrested bandits nor their collaborators, and all the cases have been charged to court, and assured that the police have all records of those charged to court in connection with banditry activities in the state.
And since I assumed duty as Commissioner of Police in Ogun State, I've never ever released any bandit or his collaborator. All cases have been charged to court, and I have my record. I don't know if it is the judiciary or correctional services, but I know correctional services will not release suspect unless they receive court order. So we're still investigating, but when I get my information, I will let you know. Thank you.
Kano residents have expressed hope that the state government will lift the ban on the use of commercial and private motorcycles in the state after 3 months of ban elapsed on Thursday. The state government had on September 29th announced security measures to check banditry in the state by imposing the ban, including a 3-month shutdown of telecommunication services in parts of the state, as well as allowing tricycle operations between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Trust TV's Lami speaks to residents.
Today, December 30th, 2021, marks exactly 3 months since the Kaduna State government imposed a total ban on the use of motorcycles and restricted the use of tricycles in the state. Now, with the 3 months elapsed today, residents of the state are anxious for the state government to lift this ban.
This has affected us, most especially we and the passengers. Because if we wish to close by 7 o'clock, from here now you will see many passengers on the road by 6 o'clock try to rush to get a motorcycle to go home, but there's no way. Even we used to close 6 or 6:30 the highest. Once we've been in the roads up to 6:45 or 6:30, we'll be arrested. Let me give example with myself. I was arrested in Express by GT Junction, that's Amingo. I was arrested by 6:45. When I asked them why, they said I beat the law. I say this 6:45. The policeman told me I have no right to challenge him.
What I expect, the government should release the time, because people are making things very difficult. The government are making things very difficult for the people, especially the masses that don't have maybe either tricycle, motorcycle, or any bicycle that will take them from their destination to home. So it's better the government should look aside so that they will know how to adjust the coffee. Because according to the government, they say from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So, and the 90 days now, for me, the 90 days is expired. So we are praying that government should look over it and either remove the coffee or should extend the time rate. Because if the time is going to be maintained by that 7 p.m., so automatically people will enter into a very difficult hardship in terms of transportation.
So I prefer government to remove the bandage because the problem of getting the transportation is so difficult.
Me in particular, I have a problem with my leg. Trekking is not easy for me, and it's not that the bike is easy to get. Going up and down, it was not easy for us. So I think
we discovered that the ban that was laid on keke napep and personal motorcycle has really affected so many people, including me. I'm talking to you, simply because the citizens have to comply with the directives of the governor. I think since he gave ultimatum that within 3 months everything will be over, or he will see how improved the situation has currently been. When you discover that the 3 months has elapsed and up to now there is nothing to write home about, he has not come out to say anything for now. So I don't know his takes, I don't know what it means, I don't know, maybe they're still working, I don't know.
At least 38 bandits were killed while 5 police officers paid the supreme price during different operations in Katsina State. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina State Command, Sanusi Buba, stated this on Thursday during a special press conference. The Commissioner, represented by the Police Public Relations Officer of the Command, SP Sambo Isa, said in the course of the campaign, 38 bandits were neutralized in various gun battles, while 999 suspects were arrested in connection with 608 reported cases and a total number of 874 arrested suspects undergoing prosecution in various competent courts of law in the state. He added that 1,243 domestic animals were recovered, which consist of 867 cows, 352 sheep, 24 goats and 1 donkey were recovered from the hoodlums. An articulated vehicle has crushed 3 persons to death when it lost control and hit a tricycle in Lokoja, Kogi State. The Kogi State chairman of Tricycle Owners Association of Nigeria, Ibrahim Ahmed, confirmed the incident on Thursday in Lokoja. In an interview, he said the incident occurred at Ajaokuta-Lokoja Expressway and described the incident as sad and horrible, stressing that the accident occurred when a trailer coming from Lokoja had a head-on collision with a tricycle from an opposite direction around Salem University on Lokoja-Ajaokuta Road, while trying to negotiate out of a porthole on the spot of the incident, also crushing the occupants to death instantly. Coordinator of the Joint Border Patrol North Central Zone, Controller Peters Olugoyega, says outbreak of COVID-19 is one of the challenges being faced by customs, especially in the fight against smugglers across the country. He said this while addressing journalists on the activities of the team in Ilorin, noting that though his men usually have tests conducted on them before embarking on patrols, but the suspected smugglers being pursued usually pose a danger to them.
Great, because we have a lot of challenges. Challenges in terms of COVID-19, which is one of our major challenges. Because when people are going on patrol, you see about 9-10 people in a place. Though before we go on patrol, we used to test people, put them on the COVID test. But notwithstanding, it's still one of those things, because the people you are going to meet in the bush, you can't easily confirm their status. That's the truth. So, but then coupled with the roads that are terrible, because smuggler will not take good roads, they prefer to enter bush part. And during the rainy season, we have some issues. We are not having Kano here. They have Kano, but despite that fact, we are still able to surmount the trouble. So those are the things we face for the year. Though we still have the issues, although that one is an internal matter, issue of human resource. But that's an internal issue. So, because definitely we need more hands. We need more hands. But it's an internal matter and it's being taken care of.
Biting harmattan in Kano is forcing residents to buy second-hand clothes to confront the challenges of harsh weather conditions, which often comes with fluctuations in temperature. In this report, Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin visits Kofar Wambai market in Kano, where second-hand traders display different kinds of wares meant for the cold weather. The report.
According to a recent report, weather in Kano between the end of November to the middle of March dropped to about 16 degrees Celsius in the night. To manage this harsh weather, therefore, residents seek to wear clothes that keep them warm. We thank God the price of the clothes this year is somehow low, because even day before yesterday, I bought some for my daughter and I bought them 250 naira each.
Kayan da ake siyan sa naira 10,000 a da, yanzu da iya siyan maka shi naira 15,000. Kaga masifa ta yi yawa. Sai mu ce inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un.
Kofar Wambai market in Kano is popular in selling and buying second-hand clothes, especially during harmattan. We can only give thanks to God because of the situation we find ourselves in. The life is very difficult, and even the clothes we are selling are very expensive, but we have no choice. We just have to sell it like this because it's our children, our brothers, our sisters that are using them. So we have no choice. With the sellers and the buyers, everyone has to exercise patience. Well, we can say things are going on normally, but actually the price of the clothes have gone so high because of how we used to bring them to Kano. Therefore, I can't tell you that the price is like what is obtainable before. It's actually very high this year. In this place, people from all over northern Nigeria troop in to obtain second-hand or used clothes. Inside Kofar Wambai market and by the roadside, the business of bend down select knows no limit. Truly, this time around, things are very difficult. We want to buy these second-hand clothes because of the cold season, but we can't afford it because it is very expensive. While some days could be gloomy with low sales and customers, but thrive mostly during harmattan season. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) operatives have arrested 3 drug traffickers wearing uniforms of security agencies to escape scrutiny, with over 427 kilograms of illicit drugs in Borno State and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This is contained in a statement issued by the agency's Director, Media and Advocacy, Femi Baba Femi. According to the statement, the operatives arrested Yakubu Kotri, impersonating military personnel, on Wednesday, December 29th, driving a golf car loaded with cannabis sativa weighing 208 kilograms on his way to Bama, Borno State. And another suspect, Salisu Muhammad, who adorned the uniform of another security agency to traffic tramadol to Bama on the same route on the same day. In the same vein, the operatives arrested another impersonator, Dada Adekule, Wednesday, along with his 60-year-old accomplice, Usman Isa, in Abaji area of the FCT, with 15.834 kilograms of cannabis, while 20 kilograms of the same drug seized from Alfred Aminu, intercepted at Gwagwalada the same day, amongst others. Corruption trial of erstwhile Jigawa State Governor Ibrahim Turaki has resumed at the Federal High Court in Dutse, Jigawa State 14 years later. Turaki appeared in court to face a 32-count charge of 36 billion naira in Dutse, which he failed to appear before the court to defend himself. However, the defendant, the former governor who appeared before the court, secretly pleaded not guilty to the 32-count charge, which started afresh on December 7th. Justice Dikko consequently fixed the 25th of February 2022 for the continuation of the trial of the case against the former governor. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arrested and arraigned the former governor before Justice Binte Nyako of the Federal Capital Territory High Court for alleged misappropriating 36 billion naira while in office, and subsequently remanded at Kuje Maximum Prison until granted bail in the sum of 100 million naira, with two federal legislators, Bawa Buhari and Bashir Adamu, standing as his sureties. Youth in Tafawa Balewa local government area of Bauchi State have staged a peaceful protest over a planned memorial event to honor one of the godfathers who contributed in peace and stability of the area. The youth allege that the proposed event is a threat to security of lives and property of the people of Zar community. Trust TV's Adam Imam witnessed the protest and files in this report.
2 days to the commencement of Baba Peter Gonto's 21st memorial anniversary, hundreds of youth staged a peaceful demonstration in Tafawa Balewa local government area, alleging that the planned ceremony would no doubt bring security threat and they will not allow such to happen. While addressing journalists on Tuesday night, the national youth leader of Zar Youth Development Association, Comrade Gaalla Daniel, accused the organizers of deliberately excluded prominent people in the area, says that creating confusion.
We will reiterate with a loud voice that we reject in totality the event, as we foresee a great crisis and disunity in the land from a program based on the desperation of the organizers. 2. We unequivocally state that the organizers should be held responsible for any breach of peace that may occur in Zarland as a result of the event.
Also speaking during the protest, women leader of Zar community, Mamara Hatu, vowed that as a woman in the area, they will not allow some groups of young age to be used on issues like that. We elders are in tears because it shows this is a purely betrayal. The man worked tirelessly for the survival of the area, not for individual alone. Then how comes overnight some group of youth want to use their advantage to achieve their selfish aim? We are not in support of the planned event in its totality. An elder statement of Gunzar Sarki Bernard Bako explained that the planned event should be postponed since there are apprehension in the minds of majority of the people. Even his sons and daughters were not included. It's for the people of the area. They shouldn't keep his son aside. If there are justice, however, they appealed to the state government to intervene on the matter. According to them, peace is not negotiable. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're still watching Trust TV News Hour. Coming up after the break. How suit affects men's fertility in rivers. This and more after the break. Do stay with us. The board and management of Media Trust Limited invites the general public to its annual Daily Trust Dialogue, themed 2023, The Politics, Economy and Insecurity. Date, 20th January 2022. Location, NAF Conference Center and Suites, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Chairman of the occasion, former Head of State, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR. Guest Speaker, Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai. Guest Speaker, Governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer David Umahi. Guest Speaker, former Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui Okauru. Moderator, Executive Director, Daria Media Nigeria Limited, Kadaria Ahmed. The event will be transmitted live on Trust TV, and all participants must observe COVID-19 protocols and wear their face masks.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Trust TV News Hour. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. Federal government said it crushed over 1,000 Boko Haram, while 22,000 insurgents surrendered and 2,000 civilians displaced in 2021. And an articulated vehicle has crushed 3 persons to death when it lost control and hit a tricycle in Lokoja, Kogi State. We're now being joined virtually by Dr Aliu, and he's the National Coordinator, Salvage Nigeria Forum, and Executive Director, Center for Youth Reformation and Leadership Development Initiative. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
The federal government recently said that they crushed over 1,000 Boko Haram members, while 22,000 of those insurgents actually surrendered and 2,000 were misplaced. That's 2,000 people were displaced in 2021. So what do you make of these figures?
Well, the reality is that, yes, agreed, the federal government will give a figure, but the reality is that we are of the opinion that more people have died than the figure that the federal government is even giving. Why I said so is most of the people that are killed do not really, the government didn't really have access to those people. For example, if you take the axis of Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, Kaduna, and the likes of them, in most cases, people are being killed even without being noticed or being known by the government or even government agencies. A lot of people are being kidnapped, for example, and then once the ransom is not paid, they are being killed. Nobody knows that they are being kidnapped or even being killed because the family don't really go out to say it or don't even reach out to government in most cases because they know that first, government is not going to pay the compensation, and then secondly, the rescue effort might, informing government might also jeopardize the rescue effort. So in most cases, families try to keep those things to themselves instead of exposing it until after release or even when their person is dead. It's not necessary that people know. So we are of the opinion that more people die than the government, than the figure that the government is giving. But be that as it may, I think that in all, it's not a good number in any case because in a country that is democratically governed and then you have security agencies and then lives are being lost on a daily basis and then in fact unaccounted lives are being lost on a daily basis in the name of security challenges, and then the government only will tell you that they are doing their best. The security agencies are there fighting or rescue, search and rescue and things like that. So I think the figure is there, but it's not a good figure. It's not a good thing to even mention. In countries like America, if one person loses life, a citizen of America loses his life, just one person, America will go agog. But in Nigeria, you find lives being lost, like I said, on a daily basis in a very high number. Just within 2 days, we recall last week that about 80 lives were lost just within 2 days. And then things like that. So it's just unfortunate. And then though we sympathize with the government, we sympathize with the citizens for the fact that the citizens are losing brothers and sisters, parents, mothers, relatives, while the government is also trying to put up a defense on how best or how much it is working towards ensuring that it safeguard the lives and properties of citizens of Nigeria. So that is it.
Oh, so in that report or in that those figures that we actually have, we have 22,000 of these insurgents saying that they have actually repented or they have surrendered. So If these people are integrated into society, back into society, don't you think that poses a further security challenge?
It is a double-edged sword. A double-edged sword is that the world over, there are issues where you find people, even you call them in a war situation. There are people who will be captured under a war situation, and you find out that they get themselves either imprisoned later, they get rehabilitated and then reintegrated. But the challenges with the Nigerian situation about rehabilitation and integration is the fact that Katsina and Zamfara case is a typical example where people will come, those bandits will come and make a declaration that they are no longer going to be part of banditry or insurgency. They will swear to the Quran or the Bible and things like that. But at the end of the day, you still find them going back to do it. Even in the case of the Boko Haram members, some in the past that there were those that swore and they were rehabilitated, but in a certain time after some arrests were made, you find out that some of those rehabilitated are being rearrested because they have rejoined back the ranks again of the Boko Haram members. That is part of the challenge. That is why I say it is a double-edged sword. The one angle of it is the fact that once there is rehabilitation and reintegration, it will assist. You can use them to get back to those members of this. You can tap information from them because they are in the ranks. They know the ranks, they know the field, they know the commanders, they know those involved. You can get to the military or the security agencies can get to know about their tactics and their method, the kind of weapons and how they access or get their weapons, or who are their trainers, or what is the source of funding. The security agencies could tap that information from those that are the repentant members of the Boko Haram. That is where the advantage side of it. But the disadvantage side of it is too. Also, one, family members of those who lost lives and properties under that arrangement is another issue, because you cannot kill, maim, destroy properties, and then you said after that you have repented and you are integrated. What happens to the families of those who lost members? What happened to those who lost properties? And they are seeing these people who were part of the team that destroyed their properties, that killed their loved ones, and they are being accepted back into the community as forgiving members. That is another major challenge, if you ask me. So what do you do with the people, those victims? What do you do with the people who lost their loved ones? What do you do with those who lost their properties? And then how do you reintegrate these people? How do you expect those people to forgive those killers or the repentant Boko Haram members, or if you like, repentant bandit as well? What do you do with them? So this is why I said it is a double-edged sword. They might be useful to the government in terms of information and intelligence gathering, but they are also the people who are at the receiving end, are those who lost loved ones and property. They are also not going to be happy with the release and the reintegration of such members into the community. But then you have to weigh the two and find out which one is heavier and which one is more beneficial, will be more beneficial to the country in terms of solving security challenges. This is another topic for another day, and then it's a very serious issue because the security agencies, the psychologists, and then the analysts have to look at this thing critically and come up with a position. But until that time, it is a very big challenge, and that's why I said it is a double-edged sword.
So quickly now, are there any programs or any special things that we can actually put in place, or any mechanism that can be put in place to ensure that these repentant bandits and repentant insurgents don't go back to being what they were? Are there anything that we can put in place to forestall that?
Well, you see, if you ask me, even though there are people that I heard a lot of Nigerians disagreeing with the position, but I think the best way to monitor, to have a strict monitoring of the activities of this repentant bandit is a way of re-engaging them. Like I said, it was disagreed in the past or even presently by Nigerians that how could you have repentant bandit or repentant Boko Haram members and get them reintegrated? They are useful. So I think as a program that can be put for them, first you can consider forming them into clusters and making them
All right, well, that was Dr. Aliu there, giving his 2 cents on the Boko Haram issue. Now moving on to other stories. Legal practitioners around in Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory have reacted to the altercation between 2 elder statesmen over the constitutionality or otherwise of laying claims to natural resources by entities within the Nigerian state. They give legal and moral perspectives to the issue of resource control while speaking to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman on the provisions of the nation's constitution on the seeming intractable results.
Chief Edwin Clark first fired the salvo, accusing the former President Olusegun Obasanjo of deep-rooted hatred against all bearing communities of the Niger Delta region. He accused Obasanjo of holding tenaciously provisions of the 1999 Constitution on whose controls the nation's natural resources.
He is still in the euphoria of 1963. That 1963 Constitution is defunct. It's null and void constitution, is an illegal position as far as present day is concerned.
It also did not make the argument as to the reason. My property is my property. What is mine is mine. How I use it is not for you to say, because the one that I have I'm mismanaging, I shouldn't be talking about the other.
In his reaction to the Edwin Clark open letter, former President Obasanjo, while clearing the misconception regarding his stance, reminded the Ijo elder of the provisions of the nation's ground norm on the matter.
Section 14, subsection 3, Section 15, subsection 1, 2, and 3, Section 17, Section 19, not 19, Section 21, Section 23 of the Constitution. All these provisions clearly says that anything you do that is repugnant to national unity, repugnant to the interests of nation collectively, is null and void and of no effect.
Of course, the Constitution says that under, say, item 39 of the exclusive list, it gives the control of the oil wells to the federal government. But the issue as to the ownership and control of resources within the domains of the nations that make up Nigeria, it has been there since about the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914.
As the region debate around the need for what some call true federalism aimed at giving oxygen to the debate over resource control continued to pose a threat to the entrenchment of the Nigerian project, with attendant impact on national cohesion and stability. Respondents say finding a way out of the logjam is imperative.
It is the laziness of the federal government, I must say it. The laziness of the federal government in refusing to really extract other huge deposits that we are having in the country. We are having huge resources. We are having gold, we are having diamonds, we are having sapphire, we are having aquamarine, we are having lithium, we are having so many these things. We are having bitumen, uranium. We are having all these mineral resources hugely deposited in Yoruba land, in Hausa land, in Kano land, in all parts of the country.
How do we make governance effective within the state structure? What did I say? I'm saying the state has created and imposed on the people were also not meant to be effective. They cannot be effective the way they are, because those governance systems as they are not people specific, they are not region specific.
Item 39 in the exclusive lists of the 1999 Constitution as amended empowers the federal government to administer on the natural resources endowed the country. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Men's fertility in Port Harcourt River State is facing a threat from persistent dropping of substance produced by incomplete burning of organic matter believed to be harmful to human health. Residents in the state and environs have in the last 5 years complained of the persistent soot and droppings covering everywhere, raising apprehension and questions on where the soot is coming from, what are the implications on human health and the environment, and how deadly it could be. Trust TV's Lukman Abayomi attends a sensitization program on soot challenge in the state. His report.
A public health expert, Dr. Aliu, has raised the alarm over the rise in infertility in men residing in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, due to high concentration of salt in the city's atmosphere. Briggs, while speaking at the Stop the Salt conference organized by Road Trust Club of Port Harcourt ECHO, says the alarm is raised following a recent research carried out at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital.
Majority of males resident in Port Harcourt, their sperm cells have abnormalities, structural abnormalities, which means they cannot impregnate women. So I've given a presentation before when I talked about the suit having the capacity to cause infertility. And somebody was arguing, this is not a study done by me, it was done in 2017, and that's what is there.
Environmentalist and gender activist Okun says the essence of the program is to strategize and engender holistic sustainable solution to the salt challenge. Other environmentalists also speak on how to tackle the salt challenge in the state.
The public also need to understand the implications of what we inhale, or that black thing we notice in our houses and in our offices. So we are looking at increasing awareness, undertaking livelihood activities, because if people have to leave the coal fire business, a lot of people are cooking the oil, other people are undertaking the marketing of the product. Through the value chain, a lot of people are involved. So if we say stop coal fire, many people will be displaced from their means of livelihood.
Air quality monitoring is just one of several interventions or recommendations that have been made by presenters, that there is need for us to regularly monitor the quality of air in Port Harcourt and even in the wider River State. You would recall that about 2 years or so ago, Port Harcourt was ranked by global authorities as as the worst air polluted city in the world, in the entire world. And even when it moves away from that position, it remains one of the worst air polluted in the world.
Finance systems, and that is a loss. But if we put in place these several refineries, all fractions of the crude oil will be well controlled.
We recommended that we should have a system whereby the license to be given to these modular refinery operators should be slashed down to about 70%, so that we can have people come in. I think they need to liberalize and declare a kind of state of emergency on the issue of soot in River State, and also be able to address the sources of the soot by providing alternative livelihood opportunities for youth who are involved in this. We at Advocacy Center, we have also proposed what we call the Presidential Artisanal Crude Oil Refining Development Initiative, PACODI. We should be channeled like what we have in parts of the North, whereby you have the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative, whereby the youth who are involved in illegal gold mining have been licensed to operate officially in Nigeria. The same thing should be done for the youth who are involved in artisanal crude oil refining.
Salt is a black carbonaceous substance produced during incomplete combustion of coal, wood, oil, and can rise in fine particles adherent to the side of the chimney or pipe conveying the smoke.
And as we approach the new year, expectations are high as the year 2021 comes to an end amidst high rate of insecurity, COVID-19, dwindling economy and other challenges facing the country. Some Nigerians call on the government to set priority right and do the needful in the coming year. Trust TV's Mardia Umar now reports.
Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, has seen a weakening economy, rising insecurity and violent conflicts that continue to threaten the progress it made in its democratic development. As the 2021 comes to an end, Nigerians are calling on the government to set priorities right by tackling the challenges bedeviling the country.
I would like the president to put some things in focus, like the aspect of unemployment, because if there is employment, people will be busy, most especially the youth, so they will not involve themselves on anything like insurgency like that. So the level of insurgency it will reduce.
2022, he should try to redeem his name and try to make the youths to make the youth productive and to create employment opportunity for people. This will reduce the banditry. Like in the north, I suggest there should be a sports center that should be created for them, and they should be trained. The football, like the way the West is, foreign countries that have good footballers, they could train Nigerian youths to be productive in that aspect. We even have some Nigerians that have been taken away for sporting activities, and this generates revenue to the foreign nations. Also, I want him in 2022 to focus on this banditry and to enable the farms to be operational.
My own suggestion about what we are looking forward to see in 2022 is, first of all, I would like Mr. President to look into the food aspect, because in this country, hunger killing very faster even than any sickness. So that, I think, in that sector, they should do something about it.
I want to see a very peaceful Nigeria. I want the president to help Nigeria hand over to somebody who will perform. The president should please help us get somebody who would perform, somebody who is ready to take these people that are killing us to take them by the horn. Let them, people who will not be afraid of being called names.
Many look forward to the year that may likely be eventful with the conduct of population census and build-up to the 2023 elections. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And despite losing fortunes, some Nigerians still patronize Ponzi schemes. These unregulated schemes involve the payment of purported returns to existing investors from funds contributed by new investors. In Nigeria, Ponzi schemes, with all the illegality and promises of unrealistic returns, have robbed the fortunes of many ambitious investors who wanted to make huge profits without risk. Trust TV's Nafisa Abdul Al speaks with some Nigerians who share their experiences on Ponzi schemes. Her report.
I have experienced scam the last 2 years or so when the MMM was going on. Well, initially they told me about the MMM. I didn't wanted to join. But later, when my friend was disturbing me that I have get money on it. So I was okay. Towards December, November, which I put almost like 500, thinking that by December I'll catch out. I'll use the other one for other things, another one for other things. At the end of the day, when I reach December 11 to catch out, now they're telling me that I can't catch out, that I have to wait till January. First of all, they didn't say I can't catch out. They say there is no response. So later they said till January. January we went to check online. Still we saying the same thing. From there till today I've not even have anything from them.
I had a terrible experience with Ponzi scheme. I ventured in MMM. There's one they call Twinkles. Then I also did Swiss Gold. Yeah, so the three, I invested in the three of them, and at the end, I didn't get anything. So it was kind of heartbreaking because what I expected didn't come out, because I had high hopes, high expectation with my savings, but it later turned out that it was a Ponzi scheme. So it was a terrible experience.
That scheme is like 419. It's dubious business. Any business that does not have a product, I always advise people, any business that you've been invited to that doesn't have product is 419, because it will crash at the end of the day. It will start on a good note, but later it will crash. So a lot of people have fallen victim into this Ponzi scheme, especially the civil servants who don't earn enough. They want to, a better living.
During my time, they do everything possible for me to register as a member of MMM. So when I look into it, I discovered that most of my friends who participated in it never gained anything. And even though they gained, at the end of the day, it was nothing but a huge amount of loss. Most especially during Christmas time, many of the members in that business, they were expecting enough profit. At the end of the day, they crashed down.
It's not actually the right thing to do. There are some other ways to do that can be better. But since when it first came, I think I heard about it when I was still in my first year. I heard about it, so I was like, I went through it. They sent me a portal, like a link. I went through it, so I was like, this is not actually what I actually want to do. So I just pushed it aside. So not until when I heard about all these things they have been doing, all this scamming and stuff, but actually it's a bad thing, like for it coming into our country.
Governor of Ogun State, Dr Abiodun, has signed 350 billion naira 2022 appropriation bill into law. The governor signed the document at the conference room of the governor's office, Okemosan, Abeokuta. While presenting the bill to the governor, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Olakunle Olumo, commended the governor for his leadership style, transparency and accountability. He noted that the House is working on 2 other economic bills to enhance effectiveness of the budget. The governor, on his part, commended the state lawmakers for their efforts and commitment in ensuring that the 2022 budget is passed into law on time, in line with the tradition of the state, noting that his administration will continue to put the interests of the people first in the programs.
Presents to you the bill for a law to authorize the issue and appropriation of the sum of 350 billion 735 million 149,739 naira 57 kobo only from the Consolidated Revenue Fund for services of Ogun State Government, Nigeria, for the financial year ending 31st day of December 2022.
And I'm sure that with the passage of this budget, which was presented a total sum of about 350.7 billion and was passed exactly the same way it was presented. Capital expenditure amounted to about 56%, while recurrent amounted to about 44%. With this budget, it's my hope and expectation that we'll continue to achieve the implementation of our vision and our Ishaya developmental pillars and programs.
You're still watching Trust TV News Hour. The news continues after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Trust TV News Hour. Now, the federal government's bond offer and allotment rose by 1.99 trillion naira in the first 6 months of this year to 13.66 trillion naira from the 11.671 recorded in the corresponding period of last year. Chamun Dabeng has details of this and more on Business News.
Federal government's bonds offer and allotment rose from 1.99 trillion naira in the first 6 months of this year to 13.66 trillion naira from the 11.67 trillion naira recorded in the corresponding period of last year. The Financial Markets Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, stated this in its half-year activity report for 2021. It attributed the rise to government's drive to fund fiscal deficit from the domestic market, noting that in the review period, the bonds worth 900 billion naira is offered, while public subscription and sales stood at 1.73 trillion naira and 1.42 trillion naira respectively, with the amount offered comprising new issues and reopenings of FGN bonds. General manager of recently burnt Next Cash and Carry supermarket in Jai Abuja, Neil Pape, says no job loss would be recorded as severance packages would be given to staff. The general manager stated this while speaking during a visit by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Sadia Umar Farouk.
And on the foreign scene, security forces have killed 4 anti-coup protesters on the 11th day of protests in Sudan. Aisha Haruna tells us more.
Sudanese security forces fired tear gas and stun grenades as tens of thousands of protesters opposed to military rule marched through Khartoum and the neighboring cities of Omdurman and Bahri towards the presidential palace in the capital on Thursday. The protests on Thursday were the 11th day of major demonstrations since an October 25 coup, which saw Abdallah Hamdok removed and then reinstated as prime minister. The demonstrators have been demanding that the military play no role in government during a transition to free elections. Authorities shut down mobile and internet services on Thursday. Army, police and paramilitary patrols patrolled Khartoum streets while shipping containers blocked the Nile bridges that connect it with its northern suburb and the twin city of Omdurman. At least 48 people have been killed by security forces since pro-democracy activists launched a campaign of street demonstrations against the coup. Iran has launched a satellite carrier rocket bearing 3 research devices into space as difficult negotiations over its nuclear deal with world powers continue in Vienna. Reports on Thursday did not say when the launch was conducted nor what devices the carrier brought with it. It is unclear whether any of the objects entered orbit around the Earth.
The remains of US-trained medical doctor Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed have been buried in Kano. The chief imam of Al-Qur'an Mosque in Kano, Dr. Aliu Umar, led the funeral prayer for the late chairman of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, after which the body was taken to Taroni Cemetery. The President Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement, described the renowned urologist as a man blessed with immense wisdom. Dr. Datti Ahmed, who founded Asma Memorial Hospital in Kano, once ran as a presidential aspirant for the SDP in 1992. Chairman Kano State Council of Ulama, Sheikh Ibrahim Khalil, described the deceased as God-fearing, praying to Allah to grant him eternal rest. Now we'll join We'll now join Adeni Ajisafe for more on sports news.
Egypt have announced its final list of players for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. Head coach of the team, Carlos Queiroz, has promised announced the list of 25 players that will represent the country in the biennial tournament. Top on the list is Liverpool striker Mohamed Salah, Arsenal's Mohamed El Neni and Mahmoud Trezeguet of Aston Villa. Egypt are the most successful country in the competition with 7 titles and we hope to continue their impressive run in the tournament. Egypt as a host in 2019 crashed out in the second round after they lost 0-1 to South Africa. Pharaohs will face Nigerian Super Eagles in the opening group game on the 11th of January before playing Guinea-Bissau and Sudan. Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has proposed the sum of 13,089,022,180 naira as budget for 2022. A communique issued by the Executive Committee on Wednesday, which says the committee approved the financial statement of the Federation for the 2021 as well as the proposed budget of the sum of 13 billion for the year 2022. The amount represents high percentage increase with 5.5 billion approved as budget for 2021. Sum of 1,500 million was approved for 2020. NFF also confirmed the appointment of Jose Peseiro as Super Eagles coach. Comoros Football Federation (CFF) has demanded an unreserved apology from the Confederation of African Football (CAF) for the mix-up about their team boss. The boss released for Comoros was designed by fans of South Africa instead of Comoros football fans and supporters. Comoros also complained about the country's flag missing a white band on the side. CAF has promised to make amendments before the 10th of January 2022 as Comoros will start their campaign in the tournament with a match against Gabon before facing Ghana and Morocco later. Comoro is one of the surprise teams that qualify for the competition as a debutant. Leicester City boss Brenda Rogers has confirmed that Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi will be released to the Nigerian Football Federation ahead of the upcoming African Cup of Nations immediately after the Foxes Premier League meeting with Norwich City on January 4, 2022 to link up with the Super Eagles at the Pre-African Cup of Nations training camp. Rogers says his auction will be limited when African players join up with their national teams, in addition to Iheanacho and Ndidi, Daniel Amate of Ghana and Nampalys Mendy of Senegal during the tournament in Cameroon. Iheanacho could make his Africa Cup of Nations debut in Nigeria's opener against Egypt on January 11th, while Ndidi will be participating in second tournament after helping the Super Eagles win bronze in Egypt in 2019. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And that concludes Trust TV News Hour for tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.